Seven of Nine's Borg children on Star Trek. Voyager explained, when Seven of Nine joined Star Trek, Voyager in Season 4, she brought with her more than just an encyclopedic knowledge of the Borg. She carried trauma, discipline, and a journey of rediscovering her humanity. But what some fans may not realize is that her arc also involved an unusual family unit, her so-called Borg children. These were the young ex-drones Voyager rescued and who became an unlikely part of Seven's story. Their presence helped humanize her, challenged her loyalties, and gave her something she had never expected, the chance to be a mother figure. The arrival of the Borg children. In Season 6, episode Collective, Voyager stumbles upon a damaged Borg cube. But instead of facing the terrifying Collective, the crew encounters something unexpected. Children who had been assimilated but were now cut off from the hive mind. Deprived of full Borg efficiency and suffering from unstable implants, these young drones were essentially abandoned by the Borg. Voyager brought them aboard, and it fell to Seven of Nine to oversee their recovery. This setup turned into one of the most fascinating character experiments in Voyager. For the first time since being severed from the Collective herself, Seven was no longer the student under Janeway's guidance. She became the teacher, responsible for showing these children how to reclaim their individuality. Meet the Borg kids. There were originally 5 Borg children aboard Voyager, though not all remained. Each one represented a different stage of trauma, recovery, and assimilation's aftermath. Mezodi, played by Marley S. McLean, a bright young Norcadian girl with fiery red hair, she quickly formed a bond with Naomi Wildman. Mezodi often showed the most curiosity about individuality, embracing games, friendships, and childhood in ways that even Seven struggled to understand. Aika, played by Mano Interemi, the oldest of the group, Aika became the most important of Seven's children. He was brilliant, analytical, and fiercely loyal to Seven. His backstory was especially tragic. He wasn't assimilated by accident. His own people genetically engineered him with a pathogen designed to destroy the Borg, and then deliberately allowed him to be assimilated. This revelation deepened both his pain and his connection with Seven, who recognized in him both the cruelty of the Collective and the cruelty of those who feared it. Rebai and Azan, played by Kurt and Cody Wetherill. These Brunelli twins were nearly identical in personality as well as appearance. Though quieter than Mezodi or Aika, they served as symbols of how assimilation strips away individuality, constantly finishing each other's thoughts and behaving almost as one. First, the initial leader. Before being de-assimilated, the Cube's Collective was controlled by an adolescent drone called First. Unable to adjust to life outside the Borg, First resisted Seven's teachings, remained defiant, and ultimately did not survive the events of Collective. His loss set the stage for Seven's deep commitment to guiding the surviving children. Seven as a reluctant parent. Seven initially resisted being cast as a caregiver. After all, she still struggled to accept her own humanity. How could she be responsible for helping others reclaim theirs? Yet her natural role as the only person who truly understood what they were experiencing made her the obvious choice. In many ways, Janeway used the Borg children as a mirror for Seven herself. Guiding them forced Seven to confront her own fears, limitations, and capacity for empathy. Her lessons to the children about individuality, discipline, and belonging often reflected lessons she was still learning herself. This was particularly evident in her relationship with Aika. He became like an adopted son to her, and Voyager eventually allowed him to pursue Starfleet training. Icheb's maturity, intellect, and moral dilemmas gave Seven both pride and heartbreak, especially when their stories intersected again years later in Star Trek, Picard, where his tragic death underscored the depth of her loss. Why the Borg children work. Narratively, the Borg children served several purposes. 1. Humanizing Seven. Just as Naomi Wildman had softened Seven's edges by treating her as a friend, the Borg children gave Seven a family structure, something she hadn't had since childhood. 2. Exploring assimilation trauma. Each child represented a different way that assimilation could scar a person, from Mezodi's innocence to Icheb's weaponized existence. 3. Testing Voyager's ethics. Bringing the children aboard wasn't just a rescue, it was a challenge. Could Voyager truly rehabilitate victims of assimilation, or would they always remain dangerous? 4. Building toward the future, especially with Aika, the children hinted at the possibility of a future where ex-Borg could become contributing members of society, even Starfleet. The end of their journey. Not all of Seven's children stayed aboard forever. Mezodi, Rebai, and Azan eventually departed Voyager when the ship found a suitable home for them. Though they had